Hello everybody, this is Skyflight44, aka Zect44, and today we're going to be playing some more Lord of the Rings LCG and our lovely campaign. This is going to be the second scenario in the core set, Journey Along the Anduin. Now, while I've played a lot of times Passage Through Mirkwood, Journey Along the Anduin, I've played slightly less, but I've also played quite a bit. If the first one is just showing you exactly how the game works and introducing you to some of the tricks of what can happen, and giving you basically a boss enemy, actually two of them, but one of them that is kind of a threat, then the difficulty is going to ramp up quite a bit. And while the first one is really easy, Journey Along the Anduin is not going to hold back. It is not it's not really difficult, but it is not in any way an easy scenario. And this scenario shaped how people view this game in the strategies and deck composition that they have for much longer than, let's say, any of the other scenarios around. So, we're going to go through and shuffle decks. Oops. I've already set up everything else that needs to be set up at this time so we can draw hands. Test of Will is wonderful. Longbeard Orc Slate, as is Steward of Gondor. A second one, and a Hasty Stroke, and a Snowborn Scout. That is a fantastic hand, to be honest. Really liking Longbeard Orc Slayer while I have a Steward of Gondor. And then just two Test of Wills and a Hasty Stroke. It's so good. And a Feint. Oh my god, this is... Not gonna lie, this is fantastic. And another Snowborn Scout, that's pretty cool. Oh my god, this is just... Things are going well. I was gonna say, all I want is a Feint. But I've gotten so much more than just a Feint. And a Protector of Lorien, that's... If I didn't get a Feint, a Protector of Lorien was probably what I was gonna go after. I'm liking these hands. Evermore Hammersmith, Thorum Ladris, Protector of Lorien. This is probably the only one I just am not too much of a fan of. Hasty Stroke's wonderful and all, but there's just way too much lore in that hand. Two Gandalfs, okay. I was just about to say, Gandalf at the very least can be treated as, can use any amount of resources, so... Yeah, this one I would say is better. Radagast Cunning's good, Unexpected Courage is good, Wandering Took. Yeah, that one's definitely, especially with what we're going to be facing, Daughter of Nimrodel could also be very useful. Now, unlike the first one, this one I like to go through and sort of... I have been able to rush this one, but rushing this one can very well get you killed, unlike the last one. Specifically, rushing through the first one isn't so bad. Rushing through the second quest is not the smartest thing to do. So, let's go through and just finish the setup. To the river, journeying along the Anduin. Emerging from Mirkwood Forest with an urgent message for Lady Galadriel, you must now make your way south along the Anduin River in order to reach the Forest of Lorien. As you leave the forest behind, you notice that you're being pursued and thus quicken your pace. Each player reveals one card from the top of the encounter deck and adds it to the staging area. Now, you'll never hear this from me again. Let's find a troll. Wargs. Enchanted Stream, Marshatter, Riven by Shadow. So that's fine, that's fine. This thing's just going to increase everything by 1. And considering the fact that it's only until the end of the phase, that completely whiffs. The problem being, we're going to flip this up to the river. As you approach the location of a small raft stashed on the riverbank, a fearsome hill troll emerges from behind a grouping of rocks and attacks. When revealed, search the encounter deck for one hill troll if one is not already in play and place in the staging area. Shuffle the encounter deck. Players cannot defeat this stage while any hill troll cards are in play. Your horror should you should realize that hill troll cards should horrify you at the very least. So let's see, how close were we to a hill troll? Right there. There are 2 of them in here. Now, let's go and tell you exactly why the hill troll is as difficult as... The hill troll is the entire reason why this scenario is memorable. The hill troll, even though it's not unique to this scenario, the hill troll is also the factor of this scenario that has changed and molded how people view deck building. If you notice, all of... Oh, this one has to be 29. I didn't reset that. But all of my decks run less than 30 for their initial threats. And that is due to the fact that this scenario throws immediately at you a hill troll. And if any, it's at an engagement cost of 30, if any of your decks are running 30 or more, you have to be able to deal with a hill troll immediately. Now, excess combat damage dealt by hill troll, damage that is dealt beyond the remaining hit points of the character damaged by its attack, must be assigned as an increase to your threat. Unlike Ungoliant Spawn, unlike Addercrop, which is going to be coming in later, and is not fun. Like Hunters from Mordor, you can't just use a Snowborn Scout to deal with an attack from a hill troll. If you do, then its 6 attack is going to go right through the Snowborn Scout and is going to deal 4 threat increase to you, which isn't fun. Granted, sometimes it's a thing that's just going to have to happen. But hill troll is not to be trifled with. And we have to immediately find a way of dealing with it. Granted, we found that way in Feint. As long as we can feint this card, then as long as we can get enough attack power to deal with it, then we can deal with it. Outside of that, we have Gandalf here. We have a Gandalf here. If we can't deal enough damage to it, next turn we can just, deal 4 damage to it anyway. So I'm pretty happy with what I have right now. So let's go to resource phase. Everybody's going to gain. Oh my god, and a Northern Tracker. This couldn't get any better. I'm actually legitimately thinking whether or not I just want to throw Steward of Gondor undone here. I mean, 2 Test of Wills, Hasty Stroke, and Northern Tracker. Oh, what the hell? I'm still probably going to throw down Aragorn. Okay, so we can get that. And Longbeard Orc Slayer. Over here. I probably should set up cameras for this, but I'm wondering whether that's going to feel too jerky. A feint! Yeah, we are set. We're absolutely set. There's 2 different... Oh, Dwarven Tomb. That actually isn't so bad. We just have to get into a card we want to reuse. So that's going to go to the planning phase. So currently in the staging area, there is 8 threats. Wargs are annoying because if it's dealt a shadow card with no effect, return wargs to the staging area after it attacks. If we had just a slight, if this was damaged, I would not care. But because it isn't damaged, if it goes back to the staging area, then Done Here is not going to be able to take it out, which is a problem. Enchanted Stream, while it's the active location, players cannot draw cards. However, it's only 2, so we could travel to this, and then if Legolas kills something, we can get rid of it. The Marsh Adder. So this thing we're not going to see for a while. We don't have to deal with it for a while. Its low defense actually makes it a good target for chip damage by Done Here. But it does have high threat at 3. And each time it attacks you, you raise your threat by 1. So, Hill Troll is the big thing. It does not have a lot of threat, though. If you can feint a Hill Troll and you can't deal with it, there's always a force snare you can use to just keep it around. But unlike other scenarios where that might be possible, we still have to kill the Hill Troll. But it does give us the ability to really bulk up a little bit beforehand. So, what do I want to do? If Northern Tracker was not in my hand right now, I would legitimately just be thinking Steward Gondor on Aragorn, but I'm actually thinking it possibly might be Done Here. 2 Test of Wills is nice, but that Northern Tracker is just fantastic. And by the way, just so you know, there are only 2 Test of Wills in this deck. There are 3 in this one, but we only have 5, or we only had 5 at deck construction. And I didn't put any of these ones in there because I just didn't feel like it. Never, to be honest, never really occurred to me. So these are what we're gonna have. Definitely gonna be using it. I'm gonna be throwing it onto Aragorn. The Northern Tracker is nice and is wonderful for location control, but we can use Theodredge if we really want to boost Done Here's resources if we must get into a Northern Tracker. Granted, I kind of feel like attacking with him at this very moment in time, but oh well. I'm going to prioritize having some attacking potential, and the Longbeard Orc Slayer does allow me that. While the Northern Tracker technically allows me that even better, because it also can defend, it is almost entirely a unless there's no locations. Unless there is absolutely no locations in the staging area, which is hardly ever a thing, and usually already means you've been using your Northern Tracker quite a bit, then you're not going to be fighting with it. Thing is, I can deal with the Enchanted Stream later. I'm not going to be throwing out a Snowborn Scout because I could throw 2 of them and then just get rid of this right now. But I don't really feel like that. We're going to go through this a little bit slowly. Unfortunately, because of the fact that I want to use Feint, Actually, no, we have a Feint over here. And we're not going to be using anything else. So we have a Feint over here, so we don't need to have a Feint at this moment in time, unless another Hill Troll comes out. So we can throw a Veteran Axe Hand down. Technically, even then, we don't really have to go through and face a Hill Troll. Over here, we do have some options. Protector of Lorien is a decent enough idea for either Aragorn or for Denethor. Both of these characters can tank the Hill Troll just with Protector of Lorien, though only 2 of our only 2 of our heroes can actually tank a hill troll and survive without anything. And those 2 are Aragorn and Gimli. Everybody else will die. So, let's see. I am going to elect not to go about using anything at the moment. And from here... Well, I could use Unexpected Courage, but on... whom? I have an idea. I actually have a pretty good idea. Let's go through and use Unexpected Courage, and don't laugh at me. Undone here. Or done here. If we go about using this, we can, #1, quest with him for the extra point, and then throw resources onto him. Or we can just go through and attack into the staging area multiple times. The Marsh Adder is going to take 2 damage for each time he's attacked by Dunhir right now. Unfortunately, Hill Troll is just too bulky for us to be able to do anything about that. But the wargs also would be attacked and killed off if it goes back in. Okay, yeah, so that's going to be it. We're going to quest with everybody here. Putting the resource onto here, and we're going to use 1 resource to ready Aragorn. Over here, we will... From what we have in attack damage, we have the Veteran Axe Hand for 2, another 2 for Glowin, another 2 for Gimli, and Legolas makes that 9. We have no other way of attacking and killing off the Hill Troll. With that being said, we need to get the Hill Troll down to at least 4 hit points remaining, which means we have to deal at least 8 to him, which means we are going to have Glowin here to attack. Means I have so far 4 in the staging area. I mean, 4 willpower for the quest. 4 from Dallin Thalin is going to make that another 4. Over here, I'm definitely going to have to send these 2 for a total of another 6. So let's see what's going to come off. Also, this means that we're not going to be able to deal with Enchanted Stream right now. But let's see. Despair. So, remove 4 progress tokens from the current quest card. This one is something that isn't going to be seen... Well, technically, Driven by Shadow, if it does nothing, then it gains Surge. That is something that is going to appear on a lot of different cards. Despair does not have that text, which means it does nothing right now because it removes 4 progress tokens and there's nothing on it. That's not going to be like that for much longer. Because if it does nothing, it usually gets Surge. And what Surge means is the next card comes off of the encounter deck. So this is Chew. When revealed, each player raises its threat by 1 for each character he controls that is not currently committed to a quest. Okay, so... how do I want to deal with this one? We already have 3. I don't really need... I could probably use Eleanor for this so I can place another one into the staging area. It's only going to give me 3 encounter cards anyway. Thanks to the end one. This one's really fun because If it leaves play, you return it to the top of the encounter deck instead of placing it in the discard pile. What makes this good is the fact that it doesn't really have any problems, and that one threat is actually really nice. And not to mention, no shadow effect. So that card is, for the most part, to me, harmless. Dogol Door Orcs. First player chooses one character currently committed to a quest, deal 2 damage to that character. So, who could take some hits? I don't really like it on anybody, but at the very least, Glorfindel has the highest pool of hit points that isn't Aragorn, who should be defending. This is the last one. Dolgoldor Orcs. Do I have a Lorvim Ladris anywhere? No. Well, that is unfortunate. And I'm not going to be able to use self-preservation because I'm going to use the Gandalf to destroy the Hill Troll next turn. Yeah, this is a predicament for me. Okay, let's place the 1 damage here. I'm just going to have to place the damage somewhere, and it's going to be in here. He's just not the... Out of every single hero I have, he's one of the lesser ones to keep. So, that is another 4. Just to make sure we have, so far... Yep, 13. Which means we're actually going to be able to place progress on here without actually needing to. Now, we are going to be facing off against multiple enemies. 3 of them specifically. My problem comes down to... I don't really have the ability to deal with all of these enemies and also the Hill Troll. I don't need to actually face off against the Hill Troll this turn. I was trying to. But... if I just deal with the regular ones... if I deal with the Wargs, Dolgoldor Orcs, and use Legolas to attack somewhere else, or at least kill something, I can get rid of the Enchanted Stream and probably all 3 of these cards, which is going to decrease this from starting of 8 to next turn only starting with 5 in the... starting with 5 in the staging area. I think I'm going to go with that. At the very least, that means I'm not going to have to go through and use Gandalf at that very moment in time, but I'm probably still going to do so. Let's see. Yeah, that's fine. So we can go to the travel phase. I'm going to go to the Enchanted Stream. We can go to the encounter phase, and how do we want to set this up? I'm gonna say... Wargs. And then we can let it go naturally, and it's going to be Dolgoldor Orcs and Dolgoldor Orcs. Then, using Unexpected Courage, we can bring back down here. Then let's see what we're going to be doing. So, shadow cards. We can defend with Aragorn, and after defending, yeah, nothing. And then over here is going to be the fun point. If I take some damage with Glowin, I can easily deal with I can easily get myself into Longbeard Orc Slayer very soon. So I'm actually gonna go about doing that. I'm gonna defend. Okay, remove 1 progress from the current quest. Okay, that's fine. And I will take 1 damage. Doggo works is not anything, like, anything really bad at all, so it's not gonna be much of a problem. Though, this is where it's gonna be a little bit more of a pain in the ass. And that is the wargs. I'm gonna defend with Gimli. Okay, and now it's gonna go back in. It's gonna deal 1 damage to Gimli. Now, well, this is fine-ish. So we can, starting from here, destroy this with Legolas. Killing it, and going to place 2 progress on the Enchanted Stream, getting rid of that. Then we can use the Veteran Axe Hand to kill off. Actually, probably should, right now, attack with Done Here. And where do we want this 3 damage to go to? Or 3 attack going to? I'm gonna say the Marsh Adder. The wargs we're gonna have to deal with again anyway. We might as well just allow... If the wargs... We still have a possibility of just fighting and then killing off. So I'm not too worried to place that on there right now. And then using the Veteran Axe Hand, we can just kill this guy off. So it's going to be 7 in the staging area next time. Okay, now we're going to go to the refresh phase. Everybody's going to refresh. Increase our threat. Now it's going to go to next turn in the resource phase. Oh yeah, I was supposed to get 1 more for glow when we took that damage. Ooh, for Gondor. Yep, at that point, I'm very happy to have put Steward of Gondor on Aragorn. That was the one reason to actually be happy with that. And Calabrian Stone. You can't see my face, but I'm smiling. Okay, this is fantastic. So let's see what we can actually do. We can, at the moment, use Snowborn Scout and For Gondor. The thing is, For Gondor at the moment means we do not have to go through and use Gandalf to take out the to help take out the Hill Troll. Because of the amount of firepower we have, we can just use For Gondor to deal with it. And not to mention, considering the fact that this is going to allow us to go and use like Self-Preservation, Hanumarth River Song, Protector of Lorien, possibly even Miner of the Iron Hills. We're just gonna start getting some stuff over there dealt with. Yeah, this is gonna be lovely. Which means I'm actually just gonna go about using Snowborn Scout. And because it's going to be placed in, it's going to place 1 progress onto Banks of Anduin. And from here, we can... How do I want to do this? I kind of want to use Blade of Gondolin But on whom? Thing is, there's no orcs in here right now. And unless there's like a Dolgoldor Beastmaster that's going to appear in here, Dunhere doesn't really need to be able to more damage to attack an orc. I'm gonna use it on Legolas. Really, it's just the progress that we can make off of it. And outside of that, we might as well... I don't think there's any conditions in here, so we can safely throw out to Miner of the Iron Hills to just get some, at least some attack power down that way. From here, we can get rid of these two for Wandering Tuck. And from here, this is where we're going to have so much fun. Steward Gondor for 4. Get rid of them for Calabrian Stone. From there, we can use 4 for Northern Tracker. And then we can use 1 for Snowborn Scout, placing 1 progress. Oh yeah, that's right. Placing 1 progress on here. So now we can go to the questing phase. We're not going to quest with anybody over here. We don't really need to. From here, we can do so with our usual 2 for 4. Eowyn can, and I'm not going to do so with Beravor, but I will with the Wandering Tuck. So that will be another 5, so 9. Aragorn will get 1, and he will ready. Theodred will be another 1, so that's 14, placing 1 on Aragorn. And then Northern Tracker is going to be 15. However, it's when it commits to a quest, it places 1 progress token on every single location in the staging area, which is going to force us to leave play. It's going to go right on top of the deck, which means we already know one of the cards that we're going to be dealing with. So that is 6 in the staging area. Oh, Banks of the Anduin. Evil Storm. So deal 1 damage to each character controlled by each player with a threat of 35 or higher. The Brown Land. Okay. Not liking that. So that's going to bring it up to 12. And Eastern Crows. See, Eastern Crows is Surge. But Fallon is going to kill this thing off before it even appears. So after it's defeated, shuffle it back into the encounter deck. This is the power of Thalon. So we have 3 we can throw onto this. If we want, we can blank out the Marshatter, which I'm gonna do. And then we can discard 2 cards for Eowyn's ability. And those are going to be Son of Arnor. And from here... probably just self-preservation. No, Protector of Lorien. We're going to be very low on cards. Protector of Lorien is probably the way to go. So now we're going to decrease this by... we're going to decrease this by 3 and increase ours by 2. Then we're going to place 8 progress tokens on the quest. We only have to kill the Hill Troll now in order to actually deal with this. Though, once we go through and get the ability to travel... we can travel to Brownlands, and it's going to place 1 progress token on it, clearing it out. Never want to see that again. Okay, so... No, actually, I got a better idea. Let's go to the banks of the Anduin. And I'll explain exactly why later, but having this in here is not going to be much of a problem if we have Northern Tracker. So let's go to the encounter phase. We're going to have to deal with the Hill Troll this time, and just wargs, so... We can get you here, and then we can get you over here. Could we actually get rid of the Marsh Adder this turn? Is the thing. Yeah, I do believe we might be able to do that. If we go through and take the wargs over here. So now we can deal shadow cards. And before anything else, we are going to use a feint, stopping the Hill Troll from being able to attack. And we will also use Forgondor for the increase in defense and attack. Now, the wargs are still going to attack, but we're gonna use Aragorn for that. And unfortunately, it's not going to do any damage, but it's going to go back to the staging area. Annoying, isn't it? So, let's see. Now we can go about attacking, because of Forgondor. Gimli's at 4. Legolas is at 4. And, well, Gloin's at 3. Naxxand's at 3. That in itself is 14, which is enough to take out the Hill Troll. It's going to go into the victory display. Okay, it was running nothing. And then we have the opportunity to attack into the staging area with Dunhee. Only thing is, he is currently, and when attacking in, at 4. Which means I can deal 3 damage to the Marsh Adder. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to kill it off because I was thinking like maybe a Blade Mastery, but I don't really have any other way of increasing attack at the moment. So I'm going to attack with Dunhee, targeting wargs, which is going to kill it off. And then I'm going to use Unexpected Courage, bringing it back, and then attacking again. Well, not killing, but dealing a bunch more damage to the Marsh Adder. So next turn, going into staging, we're actually gonna be able to deal with this. Now, a few other things actually happened. Considering Legolas killed something, we placed 3 progress onto Banks of Anduin, and it's gonna go to the top. And because the Hill Troll's gone, this will complete. So, Anduin Passage. After defeating the troll, you are able to board the raft and embark upon a river voyage. As you depart, your enemies pursue, harassing the small vessel as you attempt to navigate the river. Okay, that's cool. Oh, as your enemies harass the raft, it is difficult to maintain balance and effectively fight them off. Reveal 1 additional card from the encounter deck each quest phase. Do not make engagement checks during the encounter phase. Each player may still optionally engage 1 enemy each encounter phase. So the big thing is they're trying to make a mass of enemies happen in here. But you can still deal with them, and considering we have a Northern Tracker, we can deal with the extra locations too. So we can have Berivor before anything else draw us cards. Draw us cards over here. Okay, that's cool. Was thinking over here, but then again, I'm not going to be able to really... I can only really get like a horseback archer next turn anyway, so it doesn't really matter. that one doesn't really need it. Anything else? We can... No, damn it. We already know exactly what's on top of the deck. There's no use for using Denethor. Because Denethor can look at the top of the deck, and if you don't like it, you can place it on the bottom of the deck. And trust me, I want Banks of the Anduin. Okay, so let's refresh in the refresh phase. Now, there is another Hill Troll out there, which is a scary thought, but I'm confident we can deal with this. Flip strikes are great. A Northern Tracker is really nice. That means I'm definitely going to be saving up for that. Another Lorien Guide. I'm not too thrilled having a Lorien Guide. Longbeard Orc Slayer. Okay, that's fine. I think we're going to have a productive planning phase here. What should I do? Self-preservation is a pretty interesting idea. The only one who could really use it might be Glorfindel. Even then, if I had the damage on Aragorn right now, I'd 100% use self-preservation. I'm probably just going to use one for Henmarth Riversong. I could kill off the Marshatter with Gandalf. And actually, I'm going to do that. That's going to kill him off. Depending on what comes off of the encounter deck. If we get a lot of treacheries coming off the encounter deck, then we might just rush it. You know that thing I told you probably can get you killed. But we do have Gandalf. And let's see. Over here... just can't get anything at the moment. But over here we have... for Steward of Gondor... quite a lot that we can do. Who would benefit off of... oh, what am I talking about? We're just going to use 2 for Unexpected Courage. Or better yet... no... we'll do it that way. I'm definitely going to keep the Test of Wills in my hand. Oh, or I'm going to keep the resources for a Test of Wills anyway. We can get rid of these for Horseback Archer. And let's go into the questing phase. So we need 16 in order to actually deal with this. Which means we can use Gandalf, Thalin, and Glorfindel for 8. Eowyn is going to bring that to 12. Aragorn, Theodred, and Northern Tracker for 6. So that should be so far 18. We're going to ready Aragorn. And we're going to place another one onto Aragorn. This is going to get rid of this. And that's going to bring it up to 18 so far. We can also go through and... we can also get... yeah, we're going to use Glowin. 20. No. Thanks for the Anduin. I didn't think that was going to be possible. Massing at night. Okay, when revealed, reveal X additional cards from the encounter deck. X is the number of players in the game. Yeah, not doing that. Test a well. So that is 2. 3 gets killed off by Thalon. 4, Gladden Fields. That's nice. 5, Necromancer's Reach. Okay, so, does this matter? I'm going to say this is not an issue. Nobody's going to die from this. And it does give us another resource over here. So that was 4. And 5 will be Chieftain Uftak. Okay, that's nice. So in the staging area, there is 6. So we're going to be placing 4 or 14 on Anduin Passage, which is perfect. Okay. With that being said, all we are going to need to do is we can go to traveling, and I don't really feel like traveling whatsoever. We can go to the encounter phase. We'll go over here and deal with this. We can defend with... Well, to be honest, it really doesn't matter exactly who we defend with, but we're going to defend with Aragorn. Okay, so it's going to deal 2 damage. And then with Gimli and, well, our massive dudes, we're just going to kill this guy off. And therefore, we've done that. We've also get to put on more progress here, which is going to complete this. Why I wanted to complete this now and not before is ambush on the shore. The ongoing harassment from your enemies has forced your raft to the shore, and you must now confront their ambush head-on. If you survive this attack, the path to the Golden Wood should be open before you. When revealed, reveal 2 encounter cards per player and add them to the staging area. Skip the staging step of the quest phase for the remainder of the game. Yeah. That is lovely. So, how is this going to work? At this point in time, we have 1 Attest of Will, and we have Eleanor. Thalon will no longer go about, because he's not committed to a quest, will no longer go about killing any crows. Okay, so... yeah, nobody has 35 or higher threat, so that's just going to whiff. 2 for wargs. 3 Dol-Guldur Beastmaster. 4 Goblin Sniper. I'm glad this thing's here. Actually, crap, no, I'm not very happy that that's there. Eastern Crows would be 5, which also gains Surge, which means this is now 5. Yeah. Pursued by Shadow. Is this actually a big deal? That'll be 6, 4, 5, and 6. So yeah, I'll just deal with that. Yeah, that's fine. So 6. Wolf Rider, Surge, so 6. 7 goblins, Misty Mountain goblins, and then 8 Gladden fields. But this is all we're going to have to deal with for the rest of the game. Not so bad. Thing is, I do have the second northern tracker. If I can get a third northern tracker and just complete these 2 Gladden fields for the extra victory points, that would be so lovely. Thing is, we are still in the combat phase when this triggered, so at the end of the combat phase, we're gonna have to deal 1 damage to each character a player controls. So 1 for here, and that's gonna give him another point. We might as well place it onto Gandalf. And 1 is gonna be placed onto Barivor. Might as well place 1 onto Theodred. And did I already? Yeah, I think I placed it already on Glowin. Yeah, I've already placed it on Glowin. Okay, so now we can go to the refresh step. And that means we're gonna refresh everybody and increase threat. This is going to go to the next player, and then Gandalf is going to be discarded. Because Gandalf is not going to hold your hand the entire time. Now, how are we going to deal with this? Is the issue. I'm going to prioritize not saving resources and actually just... Especially considering the fact that my resources are kind of low everywhere. I don't really like, unlike the last scenario, I'm not going to try and gain as much as I can. Though, if I can gain a bunch of victory points, I might do that. If we stall out 1 more turn, then I'm pretty sure we can gain a bunch of we can definitely gain victory points. And still gain some, you can still gain some resources to bank. Big thing is we can't use Gandalf because I have to use Northern Tracker if I'm trying to gain those victory points. So let's go through and just get out the Northern Tracker. I'm debating on using Daughter of Nimrodel, to be honest. I really am. Okay, that's fine. From here we can use Steward of Gondor, gain some more. Test of Will is no longer useful, so we don't really have to do anything like that. We can easily kill both the Wolf Rider and the Goblin Sniper before anything even happens, so I'm gonna do just that. So let's go through and use Longbeard Orc Slayer. That's going to place damage onto any orc in play, which there are definitely several of them. Then from here, we can also play a Longbeard Orc Slayer. And then you die off, as do you. Thus there's only 5 of them left in here. Which is nice, considering the fact that that's 3 threat we don't have to deal with. And then from here, we're just not going to do anything. So the questing, we still quest with Awen. We need in total 9 down here, 10, 16. So we're still gonna have to go through and at least do something. I'll be 5. Yeah, they'll be fine. 5's good. There's not gonna be anything else like staying in the staging area. The only thing that can go back to staging area is the wargs. So I will let Dunn here just do his thing and quest. Maybe I can put one resource onto Dunn here, and then ready them both. Also using the northern tracker is going to make this 7 from here, 5 from here. They're all just one away. Also, why? All of you should be readied. I remember hitting the refresh all button. Do we really need to do anything over here specifically? We already have 12 showing. We just need 16. Therefore, I'm thinking on... Yeah, we'll just send glowing. Yeah, we'll just send glowing. And then over here, we can go through and send Glorfindel. Okay. Well, that's perfect. Outside of that, we can... Nothing's actually going to really matter. We could just end it here and get one of the Gladden fields dealt with, or we could technically wait until next turn and get both of them dealt with. It just requires not killing everything. But, oh well. So, let's start with the encounter phase. Let's see. We're going to optionally engage Dol-Guldur Beastmaster here. We're going to optionally engage the Dol-Guldur Beastmaster here. Then we're going to have the Eastern Crows come here because it's the highest threat. Then the Wargs. And then the Misty Mountain Goblins. As you can probably guess, we don't really need to... We don't really need to have anything... We can end it in this turn, but I'm just not going to do that. So we can defend. We will defend with Eleanor. Okay, that's fine. That's not going to do anything. Over here, we can defend with Aragorn. And you're going to go back. Okay, so that, I'm guessing we can kill everything off, and we just can't kill off the wargs. That's fine. We do have the Blade Mastery, but we're just going to have to deal with it. Okay, so... From here, we can defend against the Dol-Guldur Beastmaster with Gimli. So it has 4, and he's just going to take 2 more damage. Against the Misty Mountain Goblins, we're going to use the Longbeard Orc Slayer. Okay, and he's just going to take 1 damage. Okay, that's fine. And lastly over here, obviously Denethor. That's 4 damage, or 4 attack, just 1 damage. So, Wandering Took, do your thing. You managed to kill off an enemy all on your own. Isn't that lovely? Using Done Here, obviously I'm going to attack into the staging area, dealing 2 damage to the wargs. From here, we can go through attack with Legolas at the Dol Guldur Beastmaster, killing it off because Blade of Gondolin deals more damage to orcs. And with Veteran Axe Hand, we can easily kill off the Misty Mountain Goblins, even if he didn't have 2 damage on it. And then from here, Alan, Miner of the Iron Hills, and Henemarth Riversong can kill off the other Dol Guldur Beastmaster. Unfortunate that we couldn't just beat it, even though we could have with Blade Mastery. But no, we could. There's no way we could have finished that. So now let's go to the resource phase. It doesn't really matter whatever we get. We're not really going to do much of anything. I'm just really trying to do this for the victory points. Later on, we are going to suffer. And I want to be as prepared as possible for when we are going to be suffering. Okay, so let's just get on with it. Let's go straight to the questing phase. And in the questing phase, we can quest with Aragorn and the Northern Tracker. And then use Unexpected Courage to bring him back. With that, we have this completed. And then these 2 are going to be completed as well. And there's quite a bit more in the way of victory points. I mean, so far we had just 11. Now we have 17. Okay, so the wargs are 2 versus our 4. Yeah, I do believe we went about questing successfully. Now, let's see. We go to the encounter phase. We can... let's just take you down here yet again. We will defend with Aragorn. Okay. Yeah, that's really bad. Defending character does not count its defense. Here's the thing. We have a hasty stroke. So I wasn't truly screwed on that. The other thing that we could do is if we had a Lord of Imladris just heal up Aragorn. The thing is, Aragorn is one of the 2 most important characters in the game. If you lose Aragorn and he is killed, you cannot, and I do mean you cannot, continue the campaign. Oops. Because you have to still be able to beat Blackgate and also Mount Doom. And the entire Lord of the Rings saga expansions give you Aragorn as a fellowship hero, and therefore he's not around. You can't actually go and keep him. Or, like, you can't actually do anything. Therefore, he has to stay alive. And now we can just attack and kill him off with Done Here, killing each and every single enemy. So, once there are no enemies in play, the players have won the game. Fantastic. And I managed to get out of that real well. So, going to... We have no destroy cards yet. I don't think that's going to happen in the next game. I'm pretty sure we're going to be dealing with some bullshit. But right now, I can't believe this actually took less time than the other one. Because again, like, passage through Mirkwood usually takes me closer to about 30 minutes to maybe an hour. For some reason, that took me well over an hour and 20 minutes. This one usually takes me close to like an hour and 30 minutes. An hour to an hour and 30 minutes, and it only took me an hour. That's nice. So, we have 17 points here. And we have no destroyed cards, which means we don't have to do anything, which means we're going to have 5 points for beating a normal scenario. Bringing it up to 22, and we can, once again, duplicate cards. What kind of cards do we want to duplicate? Last time we got 2 Test of Wills, a Feint, a Secret Paths, or yeah, just 1 Secret Paths, Everborn Hammersmith, Veteran Axe Hands, stuff like that. Also, we got a Sneak Attack. I'm pretty sure we're going to once again duplicate Feint. Again, I very much like having that on hand, especially when we go into having, like, if we ever have more than, if we, let's say, have more than just one, or no, I should say, I want to have more than just 2 play sets, because we might just go and run a tactics in 3 different decks, and I would very much like to have Feint in all of them. So that's going to be for 4. Very much like that, a Test of Will is also going to be duplicated twice more for 8. We can go through and get another Hasty Stroke. We're definitely going to be needing those. And that's going to bring that up to 10 so far. Sneak Attack isn't necessary outside of... We already have 2 playsets of that. I'm trying to figure out what the next thing would probably be. I'm gonna want some more Secret Paths. This brings us to 14. We still have 8 more left. With this last little bit, I'm going to do the last smart idea I have, and that is we're going to want some dwarves. We can get also a Veteran Axe Hand or 2. And this will be all we need for our 22 victory points. Good thing all these things are pretty cheap. But this is a fantastic thing. I'm pretty sure at this point in time, we're not really going to be trying to get more or too many more Test of Wills. The Test of Wills is probably the only thing I can think of where I'm actually going to want like 4 play sets of this thing. But having as many Secret Paths as I do is going to be pretty cool. This should have at least got us to a full 2 play sets of Hasty Stroke. And very soon, dwarves are going to be so overpowered that I'm just going to want dwarves and everything. And that means even like a Rohan deck, if I run a Rohan deck, if I have the ability to go about throwing in any of these, I will. Like, let's say I just have a generic questing deck and it's using lore, I'm easily going to throw in some Everborn Hammersmiths. But that is lovely, and all we have left is resources. So we can increase this by 4, that by 3, 2 and 4. And it's going to be 4 and 2. And then 4 and 1. So that is a lot. You could say this is a lot, but for the most part, all of this means is I can play for 3 different ones a level or a cost of 2 card without actually having to lose it, and a cost of 3 for lore. Big thing is very soon I'm going to want to do some of the other stuff, like let's say massing at Osgiliath, and I'm going to be using these resources mainly to just play some allies from the very beginning because you need to. And again, a lot of you may think of this as cheap because a single scenario is going to be easier than it would ever have to be. But we are playing limited, and we're also playing with the inherent disadvantage of, you know, we can lose a bunch of cards and we don't run a perfect showing. Not to mention, lastly, if we use these resources and we restart, then we're going to be stuck back into a position where we have no resources to do this. Which means if you use them, you might as well make it, you know, work. Because if it doesn't, you're screwed. Oh well, have fun, everybody. Next time, we're going to be going and doing the last in the core set, Escape from Dol Guldur, which is, in solo, a ridiculously hard scenario. In multiplayer, less so, but still definitely hard.